Welcome back to the Papadoo Podcast.
Papadoo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Papadoo Podcast. Today, we finally have the long, elusive guest, Quadeca, on the show, so you guys can quit fucking asking us, because that's all we've had for
Leave him alone!
Bro, I don't even know how long it's been. People keep asking. Like, we'll just do random podcast episodes in the comments. Of like, where's Quadeca? And like, bro, we're trying to tell you what our favorite cereal is.
You know what?
That's straight up what happens all the time.
I mean,
what is your favorite cereal, though?
Captain Crunch Berry, mixed with Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops. It's a triage.
Wow, that's a very creative answer. I'm more of a Cocoa Krispies kind of guy. What about you, Nato?
Man, I think Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the one for me, even though I think I had to put it on
Basic
the A
bitch,
tier.
man. That's all you are.
Because
I love me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch the first minute.
The first minute.
There's nothing better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch. After a minute, it's anyone, it's not the same. It's a whole different cereal.
What do you think of Corn Pops?
Overrated. I do actually like Corn Flakes and Raisin Bran. I know they get a lot of hate, but I actually think that they're just, you can't go wrong with Corn Flakes and Raisin Bran, you know?
You put sugar in your cornflakes?
No.
Oh, wow. I did not expect that.
I eat it boneless, Crypt.
Boneless cornflakes.
Yes, sir.
I was going to ask, do you remember when Cinnamon Toast Crunch used to be in the shape of bread? And like, it wasn't just the squares.
No.
Is this like a Mandela effect? Like, did this happen? Or am I just...
I really don't remember that. I just know that that's how the French toast, crisp French toast. What's the name of the damn cereal? Crunch. French Toast Crunch is. That's how I know of that shape, but not Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Now I'm totally lost in this one now. I don't know any little mini breads.
We could talk about cornflakes if you want, if that'll make you feel more comfortable.
Yeah,
that's all right. I think
cornflakes.
We could have an hour-long conversation about cornflakes.
Yeah, let's just piss everybody. Crypt, don't you dare read a single tweet. All right,
God, bro, fuck all of them. I don't even care what they ask. I just want to know about your thoughts about how they make cornflakes and the tastiness behind said cornflakes.
I love that. Yeah, let's do 20 minutes on that. Then I sort of want to ask you what your favorite kind of wire is.
There you go. Ooh,
I've sort of been really into wires. Like, are you guys more USB-C or like Thunderbolt? Like, which kind of wires do you guys fuck with?
Like charging cables. I thought you meant like electrical wiring because I really fuck with the 12 gauge, but sometimes I like to go a little bit smaller and get the 20 gauge because there's not a lot of voltage that can run through it. The 12 gauge can fuck you up if you just, you gotta get a lower gauge.
Save that. That's absolute gold.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good segment.
Then let's talk about water brands. I'm personally a big Arrowhead hater. Cannot stand Arrowhead. Fiji is incredibly overrated. Horrible taste. I like Aquafina. I like Essentia. I like
pissed off Joey.
Yeah. What Joey? What's going on in your mind right here? What's going on here?
What's going on in my mind is fuck this guy because he doesn't like Fiji. Fiji's incredible.
Aren't you drinking You're drinking Aquafina.
I just shouted out your water unknowingly.
Shouts to you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
I've drank Fiji. I just think that it's got a great brand to it. Like, it looks great. Whenever you see a Fiji bottle, you're like, oh, that looks great, and then you actually drink it. It's just not, it doesn't encourage you to keep drinking more. It's sort of, you got to bear through it a little more than some other waters.
So what about Smart Water? Do you like Smart Water?
Oh, love Smart Water. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure there's no difference between any of these waters. But
you just pissed off a whole. Well, good. You just said that. 'Cause now your comment section, the interactions are going to be going crazy. Because that's the biggest cap I've ever heard in my life.
Okay. If you say so.
I literally only drink water that I dip down in a well with a bucket, and then I only drink it with my hands. Look at all the other water.
See, I like that answer. Okay, Crypt, you and me, we're kind of on a similar wavelength here.
It builds the immune
Sorry,
system.
Joey.
No, it's all good. I'm not a horseman, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh.
Not one of the 4 horsemen?
Did we even know each other back then, Joey?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, it would have been possible for you to be a part of that.
No. I was a 4 horseman reactor. But
there you go. You did hate me. You like Quadecas and you hated me.
Nah, come on.
Yeah.
What does hate really mean?
It means you talked a lot of shit for the last part of the video.
This guy
Crypt,
sucks.
Can I tell you my idea for you that you should have done?
Yeah, sure.
You should have done. You know the song "I'm Not Racist," right?
Yep. Is this
with
one of
you
your
that you featured in.
Yeah.
You should have made a song called I'm Not Racist Guy. Or you're like, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
That should have been the name of the song, all one word.
Oh, bro.
That's not
been-
bad.
And it should have just been you with the guy from I'm Not Racist arguing with each other. You
And
know?
the thumbnail was
And
the
they
exact same
mistaken me
guy.
for you, and I'm mistaking me for you,
Bro.
and I'm mistaken.
Wow.
And then it would have been
Might be
great.
too late. It might be too late for a full video, but I think that would bang as a TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm
True,
down to
true.
try that. Your guy's
True.
name is Max. He's a really cool dude. Talk to him.
Might be
Hell
a
yeah.
lot of effort for a TikTok, but I don't know. Sometimes it could
you
be
know
worth
what?
it.
You don't need to fly him out. Just you got a mirror. You know what I'm saying? You can do it.
Just a different hat for each one. That's
Sorry, Crypt. I apologize for making you relive the dead meme already, but
Man.
it's good banter. Sorry, I apologize.
haven't
Apologize,
seen
everybody.
that comment in like 6 months, so it kind of died off. But I'm sure it's just gonna haunt me for
Might be.
The first question that we want to ask you, maybe the only question, is from a fan
Yes.
directly. Probably a Quadeca fan, if I had to take a guess. And he said
Shout out.
he wanted to ask, what the fuck? Generally speaking, what the fuck?
And his follow-up question is, what in the absolute fuck?
Yeah. So what are your? Just you have the floor.
I think that's a great question,
Mhm.
and I think that's a question that a lot of us need to consider more so.
Mm.
And for me to answer that question, that would be quite ignorant and quite presumptuous for me to do. So instead of putting my views and my opinion onto somebody else, I'm going to take a step back and I'm actually going to listen for once.
Very intuitive of you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was good.
Instead of Quadeca, because that seemed like more like a from the heart in real life sort of answer.
No, it was much the opposite. It was a political answer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
PC Quadeca. Okay.
I think that's pretty much it.
Well, we finally got
Right?
the answer.
That's.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for watching the Pop Podcast.
They'll be like, what?
Mountain Dew doesn't sponsor you, right? They don't sponsor you?
No.
No, they don't.
Crypt, what are you doing, bro? You should rename it to Raid Shadow Ado or something. I don't know. Papa Raid. Because at least they're giving you them big bands, you know?
I mean, they are definitely providing for me, but it's just something about Mountain Dew, man. I've just always had an affection for it, and even though they don't sponsor me or give me money to promote them, it's just one of those things that I love so much that I just got to keep doing it. And it's
when did you get into Mountain Dew, and like what gave you that kind of affinity that you have for it?
It was a hot summer day, 1997. My mom.
You were 2.
Put some down in front of me. I was 2 years old, and I think I accidentally drank her Mountain Dew, and just I don't know, man. From that day forth, it was an addiction, and I still have it. So,
is that true?
It's great. Probably. I've been drinking it for as long as I remember. So it's probably very close to being true.
Wow.
Yeah, she likes it just as much as I do. So I got it from her. See the pun as much as I do.
That's an uphill battle, though, man. I told you, because like they had the Migos in their commercials, like sporting the Mountain Dew. They were like, just do it. Whatever they were saying in their commercial, they had a whole song revolved around it. So it was like, that's probably like the rapper they have on deck. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess that's right. Like they sponsor like a snowboarder that has like 2,000 followers. Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah.
You hear that, Mountain Dew?
I don't even want money. I just want your love and affection.
All you have to do is just listen to this. Okay, someone screen cap what's going on right now. All you have to do is just tweet Crypt. How hard is it to do? Just write a little tweet, say Crypt. You don't even have to write a word. You could just put a heart emoji and then send it to Crypt, and that will literally make his whole life like it will be great. Please, just do it. Do it
before every single video.
Yes,
it's funny because they
has a whole podcast and he's promoting you.
It's crazy, but they emailed me and told me to stop telling people to email them that they don't want to sponsor me. So it's kind of they might hate me.
So they've been coming. They've gone Mountain Dew backlash.
Well, dude, they have. Oh shit, what happened there? They had this thing on their website It says, click here and tell us who you want us to sponsor. And I was like, I found that. I was like, okay, you guys go tell them. And then they got like 20,000 emails or some shit like that. And there's like, we are not sponsoring you. We don't decide these. Please stop having people email us.
Wow.
Oh, well.
And even that, after all that, you still have determination. You are a better man than I.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm getting kind of butthurt about it.
This is all Quadeca's way of saying, why the hell is your podcast called the Papa 2 Podcast?
Yeah.
And then, this is his polite way of going about it.
Rolls off the tongue. That's it. Let's fucking move on.
All right, let's get to the good stuff. Quadeca, how are you feeling after the whole Anthony Fantano album review? The people want to know. I want to know.
Good. I did a little reaction to it. Mm-hmm. I think he did a good review. Like he was pretty reasonable about what he was saying. Mm-hmm. And I got the impression that he's rooting for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't seem like he was just going on there to just be like, fuck this guy, he's so corny or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like this, I liked this, I didn't like this, but I think there's some great ideas and I am excited to hear what he does next. Like what more could I ask for? I mean, would it be better to have a 6 or a 7 or an 8? Yes. And I think I made an album in which if he gave a 6 or a 7, he could justify giving it a 6 or a 7, even though he didn't, if that makes sense. And I think the fact that there was lots of people in the comments being like really reasonable, like my fans were surprisingly totally okay. They're like, hey, cool review. I think I like it a little better. It just resonated with me more, but
wow.
Like whatever, like they didn't dislike bomb him or like yell at him. It was quite mature, so I'm very proud of the fan base. But I think I don't know. I disagree. I disagreed with him on a couple things. Like I like the interludes, and I think some of the places where he was drawing like this is too derivative here or whatever. I didn't always hear that, and I watch a lot of Fantano. Like I've noticed that in some of the other reviews that he does, like when he's drawing comparisons to people, sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure if I hear that. So it was sort of like I saw it as I see a lot of normal Fantano reviews where I'm like, I disagree with some of this, but it's his opinion and whatever. So I'm pretty fine with it, and I'm happy that the fact that he even reviewed it and he didn't give it like a negative review is great. So yeah, but would I want it to be better? Yeah, 7. Next time we're going for a 7.
Seven
but
on a Fantano scale is a unicorn. So
yeah.
Good luck with that, bro. I thought it was
Hell yeah.
awesome that he took the time to actually review it instead of kind of doing what he did with voice memos where he just did it on stream. So that to me is already a huge W for you, regardless of what he rated it, because it's important enough for him to actually it's on his radar enough for him to take the time and dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
Bro, so a lot of your fans are KSI fans as well. You know what I mean? So
bold generalization there, but continue.
So I'm thinking this is a bold general. Yeah, whatever. So basically, I'm thinking that little number that he gave KSI on his album, like, kind of popped in their head when he gave you a 5. At least it did for me a little bit. I was like, now, how are we going to give KSI's album that number and then Quadeca's album, which is just, I'm a producer myself, so I nerd out about what you did on that album. Like, I understand, like, all the BS you went through to get that done. You know what I mean? But I just don't get it. Like, I know people in the back of their minds are, like, comparing those two because I think he gave KSI a 4, I think.
Yeah.
And then he gives you a 5. I'm like, it doesn't seem right. Maybe he holds you to a higher standard, though. That was one way I was looking at it. Because
I feel like the way he does it, like when you look at his reviews like that, it's always you're never going to be satisfied because I feel like he sort of rates albums on what they set out to do versus if they accomplish that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, when he gave Lil Pump a 7, mm-hmm. like Lil Pump made a whole mixtape of just absolute bangers for fun. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like this song is like this song's just fire and you put on your playlist and you have a good time, right? And so for what it set out to do, it was an interesting project in its lane and it like defined a certain style, and that was cool. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like if he enjoyed it. But then if you look at it and you're like, he gave Lil Pump and Damn the same rating, or he gave Lil Pump a better rating than like 2 Kanye albums, like, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, how the fuck does Lil Pump get a better rating than the Kanye albums, where it's like, these are insane masterpiece, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's just based on, I feel like it's on such an individual scale. And I feel like even people who are comparing me and KSI now, we're barely in a similar genre. You know what I'm saying? Like the music that we're making is like, we are trying to do completely different things. Like I'm trying to do some weird, like experimental, like industrial hip hop songs that go in a million different ways, that, you know what I'm saying? And he's making songs that like you can turn on and it's like, oh, this is lit, and or, you know, it's I don't know, or it's sort of a vibe, or it's a little more poppy. It's just like he's going in like even like sort of an EDM kind of direction too. Like I just feel like we're in such different lanes that the only thing that connects us is, you know, the diss tracks and the fact that we're both sort of YouTubers, like transcending a kind of YouTube artist label. And I fuck with KSI, but I think like, you know, look, oh, he gave KSI 4 and Quadeca 5, and KSI is this and this and this. You know what I'm saying? It's like comparing like a goalkeeper in like hockey to like a, you know, like a, I don't know, like a point guard in basketball. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Maybe that's a little too different, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of how I view it. And I think when you just go to compare the numbers, I think it will always sort of disadvantage less like artsy stuff and more enjoyable stuff, because there's always going to be less to pull out. Like my album, there's so much going on that there's a lot to like about it, but also a lot to dislike about it, depending on your taste. You know what I'm saying? Which I think, yeah, I don't know. That's my long ramble to answer the question.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's impossible to really give a blanket way to review and like react to stuff, because like I'm gonna hold people to different standards as well. Like even when I do my own, and I don't really dive that deep into it like he does. So it's like impossible. So I understand that completely.
Yeah. And it's just one opinion, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he does have a big influence on like the way that people just perceive music in general. Like if someone goes into an album having heard the Fantana review first, they're going to be listening to the music with the perspective of, oh, this, I don't like this, and I don't like this already. Or people won't even listen to it, and they'll just say, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same when he loves something too. Like he loved Sisyphus, and on all of these like, you know, user generated like review sites and on Twitter, like sort of like music Twitter, people were like, this is amazing. Like they were like, didn't say anything, or like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. And then Fantana was like, this is crazy. And then they're all like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It goes the same in the positive way as it does in the negative way. So I just see like whatever Fantano says, like there's going to be a large percentage of people that they just co-opt that sort of like like they do sort of a synthesis of the Fantano review and then co-opt that as their opinion. And that is actually kind of annoying, but you know what I'm saying? That's no fault of Fantano. That's just like he's an extremely influential music critic, and he knows how to articulate himself and articulate how he hears music in a way that's like really well thought out, and in a way that a lot of people who, you know, may sort of be new to music, or they're not musicians themselves but want to be able to participate in those conversations, like will, you know, find interesting, or they'll find a sort of way to identify with the way that he's like analyzing and breaking down music, you know, which for me, like when I first started watching him, that's something that I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I like that I like these adjectives that he's using. Like that's something that I couldn't describe, but the way he said it made me think like, oh yeah, that's what I liked about it, but I didn't quite realize why I liked that about it, or I disliked that, but I didn't quite realize it. But sometimes I think it goes a little too far, but that's the point of critics. He's doing the what he should be doing, you know? I don't know.
No. That's all true. What was I gonna say about his reviews? One of his reviews has like messed up one of my listening experiences before.
Really?
Specifically, J. Cole, KOD. I was so excited I didn't get to listen to it yet, the album. And then I was like, oh, let me just see what he thinks of it first, just to get me more excited for it. And he was like,
man,
it's this, it's that, it's monotony. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna listen to it anyway. I'm sure he's wrong. And then the whole time I was listening to the album, I was thinking about the things he was saying, and it was like it messed up my listening experience. So yeah, I never listened to reviews or anything like that before experiencing the thing for myself. It's something you should do after listening to it to enhance your experience, I think.
Yeah.
So
compare views, if anything.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dope. So I wanted to know. I listened to your video today, and you said that Sisyphus was like one of the later songs that you made, and that it took 1.5 years, 2 years, or whatever, to complete the whole album, and that you grew while you were making the album. So, like, what were some of the later songs, and what was the earliest song? Like,
let me pull up the track list. Do you have any? I'm curious. Do you have any guesses?
All right, what's the worst song? Let me think. No, bro. Right, honestly, to be completely honest with you, Sisyphus would have been my guess to be one of the earlier made songs. Just because when I heard Sisyphus, I was like, okay, he's putting out this song to be like the big promotion song for the album, more or less, like right before the album drops. So this must like have like all the styles of the album wrapped in like one song almost, because it's like 5 minutes long and it's got so many, which in a sense is kind of true. That kind of more pertains to the interludes, I think, and like stuff like that. But I don't know. I would think like Burning Bridges and Long Day and stuff would probably be like one of the earlier ones.
Some of the more
so that's an interesting take, because the beginning of Burning Bridges was actually like the first one that I did. The first, but the beginning of it, and then I'm fucking stressed, that part. Yeah. But then like, so I think I made it like in September of 2019. And then I just held on to that, and then I had that open for a verse, and then like I got the IDK feature, and I honestly didn't love the way the IDK feature sounded on the original beat. Like I thought it was like just because I listened to the song so much, it just sort of got kind of repetitive. And so then I just like fucked up the beat, and like found this beat coincidentally on YouTube from a producer that I really love called 666 Delete, who's super fire. And then it matched the BPM and the key. Like it was like it was like one of those godly moments. If you just surf YouTube beats enough, you'll find it, which is something I tried not to do for this album. But like for that kind of abrasive style, I feel like those are the kinds of songs where you can actually find really cool stuff, and then take those stems and then play with those stems and make them your own. So that's kind of what I did. So I put that on there. I like syncopated a lot of the drums to the IDK verse. So I kind of like mapped that beat around that verse. Then I like combined both of the beats for the outro part. Then I did that whole second Long Day part, which was one of the later things that I made. So that was like, that song was made over the course of like a long time, where I just sort of had it going for a while. But yeah, Sisyphus I did, I think, starting September of 2020. And then I just sort of worked on it a lot over a long period of time. And I was honestly working on it until pretty much like a day before I turned in the album.
Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy watching the process behind that, and like you constantly like pushing the date back. I was worried that you were overdoing it. Like you were kind of.
No, I definitely was.
Bro.
And,
but I think it made it more fire. Like every time I made an edit, people were like, like my manager was like, "Oh, bro, you're being crazy." But then I'd send the new version, and then he'd be like, "Well, yeah, that was kind of, you were right. That's good. It was worth doing." But like, he didn't want to tell me it was worth doing because he knew that it would reinforce my like crazy, like habits. But they ended up. The problem was that they actually did end up making things better. Which was the tough balance. But yeah, that one was made over a while. And that wasn't actually going to be the single at all. The single was going to be Candles on Fire or People Pleaser or Shades of Us. It was going to be like one of those, or like Smiling at the Ground, like one of those more sort of concise ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just sort of had like a manic episode like a week before I had announced the single was dropping on the 18th. And then I was like, shit, dude, Sisyphus is the only song that can be the single. It like represents the whole theme, and it just is the most like magnum opus-y kind of song. And I was like, damn, this has to be the one. So then I called up Thad Swift, who we filmed a video with Thad.
Yeah,
and
that's that.
I was like, bro, can we? I know this is like insanely. This makes me sound like a crazy person, but can we go to Colorado like in like 3 days and film this video? And then
so you made that video like days before the song actually came out.
Yeah, we filmed it on Tuesday in Colorado. Got back home on Wednesday, edited it Wednesday, Thursday, uploaded on Friday.
That's crazy.
So it was like a super spur of the moment.
Where's the jacket? Where's the jacket?
Bro, Joey and I were literally talking about that because we thought you like were sitting on a lot of these videos because of like the whole theme. First of all, we thought you went overseas and shot like a shit ton of videos. We had no idea that you shot that in Colorado. But I was under the impression you had that video just in the bag waiting until your album was done and then you could drop a single. I had no idea you were so fucking last minute with it, but after
I got some other ones in the bag, but that wasn't one of them. And then I was like, damn.
That's wild.
And so many of the shots just like were just like coincidental or like just came the right way. Like the beginning and the outro shots were like right in the backyard of this Airbnb we were staying at. And it was almost perfect because in the morning it would be like in the evening it was like super gloomy and like everything was covered in fog. And so we did that same beginning and ending shot, just where in that ending shot where it like goes up into the mountains and there's like these sort of orange bluish hues and it's like this beautiful triumphant thing. Like you can't really plan for that kind of shot. You know what I'm saying? But then, yeah, it just came together in a really cool way where it was cool. And I thought we had lost all the footage on the SSD because we got in this snow blizzard, like in that shot where I'm looking like a futuristic caveman who just got unfrozen from an iceberg after 3,000 years. We were like in the worst fucking blizzard ever. And the SSD at the top of the camera was like covered in snow. And we were like, oh shit, we're going to lose the whole video. But it made it. It was one of those things where it's like, bro, we were on some other shit, but then it happens, you know? Which is what I was hoping would happen, but it happened, which is cool.
Makes it even more.
Was that the only video you filmed out there, or did you take advantage of it and film a couple more while you were there?
For one day, Crypt!
I don't fucking
What do you expect me to do, Crypt?
I didn't know you were only there for a day. I apologize.
We were there for like 2 days, but we filmed that, and then some of the sort of visualizer stuff, like for the album movie, we did it. We got a couple of those there, and then a couple other ones around like Tahoe. We really Thad and I and Jacob Clark, we really went all around the world, so a bunch of different fucking mountains, and like really went ham on that. So we did like Eastern Europe, and then we did Colorado, and we did like Lake Tahoe, which is pretty cool.
It matches all the same aesthetic so far. Like everything's been like really on brand with so I think you guys been doing really good with that. It makes
thank you.
Your story right there though kind of diminishes my next question. We can still talk about the chronological order of how things were made because I really want to know that. That's been like one of my biggest curiosity things since you spent so long making the project. But I was gonna ask, I really want to hear that version of what Sisyphus sounded like when you were shooting the video for it. Like, was it like a bare bones sounding type song? You know what I mean? Because I thought you did it in 2014 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
it was the full one.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, there's the old versions of some of them are kind of like remarkably different. But like, I like sometimes I listen to old ones and I'm like, damn, maybe the old one was better. I kind of had that moment in Burning Bridges when I did the intro, where it's the feels like yesterday, and that was like the snippet that I had released, and I had made sort of a new version of it. And then like again, like a week before I was like submitting the album, I thought, damn, the old version of that one, just on the end of the Schoenberg, was like, I like that way better. And then I went back to that version, and then I made that one better. Gotcha. So there's a bunch of things like that where I was sort of meeting myself in the middle of the original version and then the completely new version. Same thing with People Pleaser. There was like two complete different ones, and I sort of kept going back and forth and finding the sweet spot for it. Because I feel like you probably relate to this. Like once you start working on a song for so long, it doesn't sound like a song anymore. It just feels like when you say a word 100 million times and it doesn't sound like a word anymore. And every song I make, I always think it's the best song I've ever made, regardless of how trash it is. The first day, this is the best song ever.
Play it
Everyone's
20
gonna
times.
freak out. Then you play it the next day. It might be trash the next day. Fuck off. If it's trash the next day, then you gotta leave it. Well, then you maybe gotta leave it alone. But if it's really great the next day, then you're on to something. It's still the best song you ever made. Then you work on it until it's one of the worst songs you ever made. And then you have to work on the song until you remember why you loved it so much the first time. Right.
Yeah,
the thing that, because you listen to your songs with these sort of biased ears when you first make it, where you think this is my song, and you only hear the potential for the song and the way in the place that it could be, because it's not mixed. You give yourself all these justifications of, it's gonna, once I do this, you hear the better version of the song in your head when you first make it. But then once you mix the not so great version for so long, that starts to become the song, and then you lose touch with that,
the vibe,
that vibe, and the thing that made you, really want to really fall in love with making the song. And then, so a lot of these songs, I sort of overworked them, and then I had to rework them until I fell in love with them again,
So did you do like a lot of reduction, like on the producing? Like, did you go back and like take out certain elements? Like sometimes with a lot of beats, like you like have it like stacked up and it's a compositional masterpiece, and you're like, yo, this is so dope. It has the strings, the brass, the choirs, everything. Like, this is amazing. But then you take away, you like accidentally mute the choir or the string. You're like, oh wait, this sounds way better with less instruments type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's Sisyphus was a total thing of just testing, muting a bunch of shit, and
700 tracks, bro. 700. Like, what is that? Every syllable gets a track.
500 because I don't know. I have a lot of them where I have something that I mute it and then it's like doesn't count in the end. But like at some point there were 700-800 tracks in there.
God.
That's crazy.
That stresses me out, and I don't produce at all.
Bro, so like, what is like your number that you go to for your stacked vocals, especially on this project? Do you like sing the same thing over like 8 times or 4 times or?
Oh, that's actually a great question. I don't know. I always do, honestly, 3.
3? So 1 in the middle?
3 for like, if it's a chorus vocal.
Yeah.
I'll do or maybe 4, there'll be the main. Then there might be like a double, or I'm going to really count them up now. There's going to be a main, then there might be like a double, then there might be one in a higher octave, then there might be a harmony and then another harmony.
Yeah. Oh, I meant like just like one note, like one melody that you're singing, because I know you were doing harmonies and everything like that. So yours aren't like super stacked up, your vocals then. It's just,
a lot of them are just one vocal.
The reverb is making it sound bigger than it actually is.
I have to do a fucking tutorial. I made up this new style that I call the Quadeca psychedelic delay effect. And I'm gonna do a little YouTube tutorial on my second channel, because it's one of those where it's not like you have to feel it and then you test it. It's just like, do this and then it will sound like that. It's like it'll be a fucking 2-minute no bullshit tutorial, and then I'll let everybody hop on the wave.
Giving away the sauce.
Right. But yeah, it just sort of really depended on the part of the song too. Like, for example, the Swallowed the Key interlude.
Yeah.
The first time the chorus comes in, it's just super close up, intimate, just one vocal line, and that sort of like Mellotron-y synth thing that I was using. But then the second time it's much more layered, and then on maybe the end part of the phrase there will be like 4 harmonies. It's just like to accentuate certain things or wherever it sounds good. But if your whole shit is just harmonies, it's going to get so it will take you out of feeling that sort of intimate moment, so I just sort of tried to balance it a lot. But I love doing those choir vocals.
I could tell.
I love the way those sound. And I've been doing that on my music since I was like 14, to varying degrees of success. But whenever I did that, I was like, oh, I love that.
I mean,
Joey always mutes all mine. He just says, fuck you. Just take them all away. Like, I'll sit there and do like 16 tracks, and he's like, okay, I'm just using one. Fuck the rest of these. Don't even listen to them.
I mean, some of them, okay, that's not true. I listen to them all, but sometimes it's just not appropriate for the type of song. But Swallow the Key. Let's talk about that one really quick, because when was that one made? in the timeline?
Ooh, that was like sort of beginning of the pandemic.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe like May of the pandemic era.
Do you remember recording those? This is no knock on your singing ability. Do you remember the recording session singing that song?
Yeah.
What did it take a lot of takes to get it like perfectly right?
That was the first take.
Oh, bullshit.
But I normally try. No. You know what's the weirdest thing? If the vocal doesn't sound good on the first take or the first day that I record it, like I'm gonna for some reason I just forget how to sing it. It's a really weird phenomenon, but I just lose the thing, especially after I've worked on a song for a long time.
There's something I don't know if you've heard of this. There's something in your phone called voice memos, and you could like try to sing the melody into the voice memos on your phone, and that way you won't lose the type of melody that it like.
No. I remember the melody, but just in the delivery of the vocals.
Specifically.
If you're overthinking it, or you already have a reference for the original vocal, that becomes what you think the song is. Then you try to match that, and then you can never match it, even though you don't want to match it because you want to sing a new vocal take.
Yes.
It's very kind of psychologically taxing thing. But Swallowed the Key was one, and not to sound like an asshole, but that was one of the rare times where like the first one or two takes I did it because I just
make you sound like an asshole. Oh.
Because I don't want to be like, I just do everything one take and I'm better than everybody.
One take machine. I'm fucking Quadeca.
Because I'm really not that kind of guy. Like I'm the opposite of a one take artist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, because there's I got in the studio with Matt Ox.
Yeah.
The GOAT. He's really fire. He's doing a bunch of really cool experimental, like really interesting hip hop songs. Yeah. But we got in the studio I think like a week or two ago, and he just does it off the top of his head, so fire, just boom, 15 minutes, he's done the whole thing.
Wow.
And he was like, all right, bro, you ready to do your verse? I'm like, bro, I'm gonna need a water, I'm gonna need some quiet, bro, I don't know how to do this, bro. No, but like I so I'm not a big kind of one take guy, but sometimes I always have to do those freestyles, because if I don't, then I'll lose that like vibe of the song. So I will always voice memos like the melody or some lyrical elements of it, that if they just sound really clean to me, then I'll keep them, and then I'll go back and I'll adjust them until they work, lyrically or thematically. Like Kanye does that too. I noticed that when I listen to you guys ever listen to the Yandhi leaks?
No.
The Yandhi, there's like, so it's the Lost album, the Kanye Lost album that he didn't put out because he became like super religious, and he scrapped it because they weren't like Jesus honoring songs, but they're absolutely insane. And they got leaked in like the beginning phases, and that's what he does. He just puts on a beat. He basically just mumbles across it, and then when a line comes in his mind, he like says the line, but it's really just about sonics over everything, and then he fills in the words to match the sonics.
I think that's really the best way. I think that's the best way to come up with a flow to it. Yeah. Like find the right flow for a song, or to find the right melody for a song, is to mumble it and then match some words to it. But that's the hardest part for me. Yeah. Is to match words to like a melody, like a mumble or something like that makes sense and sound good. So
big facts.
But yeah.
I think that's been my strategy that's worked the best up till now.
Well, I'm gonna go through Twitter. We're gonna do speed round. All right, we're gonna do like 5 or 6 speed round from the people on Twitter. All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. So a lot of questions are very similar, but they're asking about the songs that didn't make the album. Are you gonna put out a deluxe? Are you gonna just release some throwaways, or did every song make the album?
No, not every song made the album. That's for sure. Am I right?
Yeah.
No, yes. Yeah, fucking, I don't even know how many fucking songs that I made for this shit. There's some really good ones that I threw out, but it hurts. It always hurts. Like there's the original intro, and I literally filmed a whole music video for it, and then I threw it out.
Why?
But at one point, I really believed that was like the song. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna put that out. And I was thinking, like I'm doing a vinyl and like putting some secret songs on there, or even some of the more there's some other ambient score soundscape type stuff that I did that's really cool, but it would have just clouded up the the album too much. So that would be cool to put out. And then a bunch of more hype, less, thematic songs that are really cool. And then so many ideas and beats and shit that I gotta, send to other people to maybe they could do something on it. There's just so many ideas, and it just sucks when you never know what idea is gonna resonate with people. Like, the song "It's All a Game."
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one of my
I was almost gonna not even put that on the album.
See, that's the beauty of it, dude. Like, you never know how your songs are going to affect somebody or how somebody's going to relate to it. So I 100% think you should put out a deluxe if you ever end up doing something with them. But I know some of the songs that I put out that I just really wish I never made are some people's favorite songs. Like, and it's weird how that kind of stuff works out.
True, but yeah, I've too many.
People want to know if you're ever going to do a song with KSI. I hate these questions, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Ripped. Kind of stirring up the pot a little bit over here, buddy.
I know, man.
I would do a song with him. But yeah, it's just like the song where if we did a song, it would be fire, and it would have to be fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would do a song with him, but it'd have to be one of those where, like, I don't know, it just feels perfect, if that makes sense. Because it would be such a waste to do, because that would be kind of such a like iconic moment, you know what I'm saying? That I think it would be really cool, and especially sort of even the more time that passes, it's like it would be definitely a cool thing that I'm sure a lot of people would want to see. But I would be down to do it, but we just got to make it like hella fire. And one of those where it's just like anybody listens to it. I really wanted to be one of those songs where it's like anybody listens to it and it's just like a fire song regardless of any context or anything, which is kind of my goal for all the music that I'm doing, but especially the one with KSI, just if that were to happen, because that would be such like a moment, I feel like,
Nothing cook each other.
Like,
yeah.
All right.
Nope.
I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but like, what's your favorite song that you made for the album, and what's your least favorite?
Answer it, Quad.
Some people don't want to answer it just because it can sway somebody's view on the song, but I think you should answer it.
Favorite song and least favorite?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't fucking know. It changes every day.
Yeah.
I do think, I love the ending. I love Summit Part 1 and 2.
Okay.
I love that. I love those songs. And I think that without those songs, when you finish the album doesn't hit the same way. Like, there's people who aren't going to listen to the album all the way through, and they're not going to get it. But the people who listen to it all the way through, once you get to the end of Summit Part 2, if you're not feeling anything by the time you get to the end of Summit Part 2, that's like, I don't know. I just feel like that's the way that just hits, like, outside of any analysis or breakdowns. Like, that one just, like, those two songs together just complete the album. But I also think Sisyphus is like the probably the best song, but it's just not always my favorite one to listen to, Candles on Fire, that one was my favorite for a really long time, and then I just over mixed it or like just did it so many times where I just need to spend some time away from it before I appreciate it again. And then my least favorite, I don't know. I don't want to say my least favorite, because then I feel like some
I think
people
that's smart.
Get swayed.
Smart.
Probably, I feel like maybe Where'd You Go, but sometimes that one really hits. Like, sometimes that one really hits, and then I'm like, oh, that one really hits. But just in terms of, I just feel like it might be the least interesting song, but it's a banger, and I don't know. So maybe that might be my least favorite, but it's also been one of the oldest ones, and one of the ones where I feel like I've just grown from it, but sometimes it comes on and it hits harder than any of the other songs. It does. So I can't say.
It's understandable, but like, whenever me and Joey, we had like a conversation off camera about the album, like, was talking about our favorite songs and stuff, and I think we both agreed. Like Where'd You Go is like one of the lower songs on there, just because of how much improving there's been. I still like it, just because like
what's your least favorite?
And just like my least favorite song.
Let me.
Like,
is it gonna be Can't You See Her Smiling at the Ground? I'm gonna predict that for you.
Okay, so because I'm a basic bitch, is that why?
No.
I don't like the poppiness. I don't like the instrumental to Smiling at the Ground. That's the only thing. I think the hook is really catchy, but it's just like people were calling it hyper pop. Is that what the genre is technically? Like, I don't even know.
I don't know. It's a little, it's got some of those elements. But that one was, that one was also an older one. Yeah, it's got some, but it's also got some sort of pop, like, I don't know, like pop rock kind of vibes to it.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know what, and it's like got sort of rapping on it. I don't really know what genre that one is, but it's probably like some sort of mix of those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly count like the interludes and stuff like that as like being least favorites and stuff like that, because I understand the importance of them, especially on an album. Like it connects the whole feeling. Like it gives you the experience of the album.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of Work. I don't like. That was probably one of my least favorites.
Yeah.
But my favorite by far is Candles on Fire. I really like Sisyphus as well. And I like Long Day. Like I like the last half of Burning Bridges and Long Day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Joey, what about you?
Nah. Least favorite. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Man.
Do the list.
Hold on.
All 18. Boom, let's start at the top.
I got a list of my least.
The one I can't pronounce.
So.
I got a list of my least favorite.
Trash. Candles of Fire, big trash. What the fuck are you thinking?
Nah, Alone Together for me, bro. That's my least favorite. I'm with Anthony Fantano on the Hakuna Matata line, and I think I don't think any songs you write going forward is gonna have any lines that are kind of in that realm anymore.
I agree.
And it sounded, and that's what, because I heard the album, I listened to your lyrics. I was like, these are very mature lyrics from Quad, but that line stuck out in the album, in the middle of the album, and I was just like,
yeah,
because I've heard the song before, and obviously this was newly mixed, and I think did you change the drum sounds on it, like the specific drum sounds that you had, or did you just mix them differently?
I changed the sort of reverb mixes on it and like EQing it, but the sounds are the same. Gotcha. And I added a couple other stuff in the hooks too.
Yeah, I thought you put like a little synth in the background of the hook, but I just had to confirm that for myself. But
bro, I had a guy. Sorry, I have to interrupt here because I had a guy that like completely went off on me, either on Twitter or YouTube community. I can't remember when it was. When I was doing a live reaction to your album, I said I was going to skip over Alone Together because like I've already heard it, I've already done a reaction, I'm not going to do it. Like, no, he's changed it. You got to listen to it. I was like, well, he's probably just changed stuff that maybe you guys wouldn't understand, but like people that make music understand. Because I was under the impression maybe he's changed some drums or like changed the mixes on stuff.
But there's that whole new intro on it too.
Yeah, it was the whole new intro. But the guy was like telling me I had a massive ego and that I thought I was better than my fans, and just like all kinds of, like said I was flexing on my fans and thought that I was better than them because
how was that flexing? Leave my man Crypt alone. He's just trying to pop a do and peace, okay? Leave him alone. With Alone Together, I feel like I can't say that one's the worst. I will say that line is not a good line on it. But I had originally written it with the intention of it being sort of a little like tongue in cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like to sort of take away from the super dramatic choruses. But then on top of the beat, it like the beat sort of gave it a tone, like a tone that I think when I don't know, like I think in the context of the song makes it sound more like self. I don't know, like made it sound like I thought it was like more, like it was cooler or like more profound than it was actually intended to be, if that makes sense. Because the presentation of the song is so grand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It and then it goes from the singing to this like in your face kind of rapped verse. It really puts a lot more emphasis on those lines. So even though I, you know what I'm saying, I just don't feel like my tone kind of came across on it, and I think that did kind of sound off. Even though, you know, some like for me, I know that it wasn't meant I know that it wasn't meant to be super like, you're the king of lion, no Hakuna Matata. No, but it's like, that's just the kind of, it was meant to be, I don't know. I sort of flirt with like corny lines as a sort of personality driven
I get
thing.
that. Yeah.
If that makes sense. But it's sort of, depending on where it is, it can kind of like play differently, you know? I don't know.
It's always risky when you do a playful line like that. It's always a little risky. But
but that was also one of the first ones I did too, and that kind of set the tone a little bit for some of the other production that I did on there too. So so it has a little spot in my heart, you know?
Yeah. I got that.
I think it just stood out more because it's like there's like a random punchline in a song that's not like a punchline heavy song. So like that's what I remember most from it, aside from the hook, is that one line.
Yeah,
I think that's why people kind of focus in on that. But I really enjoy that song. Like I like the hook a lot.
Hell yeah.
But the rest of the album sucks.
Agreed.
Yo, one thing I just want to say before you get to the next question, just because this is something that did bother me about Anthony Fantano's review, really quick, because I know you took a lot of pride in those interludes, bro. Yeah, super shocking, right? I know you took a lot of pride in making those interludes, and I don't think Burning Bridges and Long Day has the same impact on the album as it does if those interludes aren't there. I feel like those like hype songs like hit like right at the right moment, and all those like interludes and slow build up made the hard hitting songs finally hit like right at the right time when people were like looking for it the most. You know what I mean? Because
and I mean, even think about if you have Burning Bridges and Work right after each other.
Yeah,
that's just too headache inducing.
Yeah,
you know, like, and then I also have all these sort of like clips from Mountaineers talking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, and I think because this album was definitely a statement for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to reinforce like the From Me to You style, which I feel like if you take the interludes off, you don't really get that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted this to have a thing where it's like there is a production style to it, and if you heard a song, like that's what allows you to say this song feels out of place in the album, or this part didn't feel like a From Me to You song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which is something I always liked about albums. Like I've always loved albums where it's like this feels like a Yeezus song, or this feels like a fucking whatever, you know, like a Good Kid, Mad City thing, or I don't know. Those are just great albums, but like albums that they have a feeling to them that you have to go back to them in order to be like put back into that world again, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a big part for the album, is just like putting someone in that world. Because that's something that I feel like is something that makes albums age better, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to have something that would last, you know?
Time will tell, but I think you did a great job.
He's like, I'm not so sure about that, buddy. Time will tell.
That's not what I meant, but it's true. Time will tell.
I'm just trolling, but yeah.
All right, so the next one is from my man Javier, who I assume is a very large fan of yours because he's asked me 5 questions. He wants to know about... Shout out Javier. Yeah, there are songs he wants to know why they are not on there, and I was unaware these songs existed. 3 Phones, So Unfair, Alter Ego, and Watch Out.
First of all, let's break them down.
Is this some
Alter Ego? That was made before Voice Memos. That was made before Out of Order.
Wow.
That was made
what a guy.
2017, bro. So no way that's going to be on. If it's not good for my 2 albums that I did before this that are worse than this one, it's definitely not good enough for this one. The second, but thank you for somehow knowing what the fuck those are. Shout out to Javier. What's the other one? He said So Unfair. I do like that song. That one is a good song that could have made the album, and some people were telling me that I should have put it on there. But that one I might do on like a deluxe. I like put them on my story, or like Mike G put them on his story when I was like mixing them or recording them or something. Like just little bits, but that little snippet is like I love that snippet. If that could just be the song, then it would have been out. But I just never really finished it, and it wasn't as interesting as some of the other ones. But it's still a song that if I'm like going back to, like, it's always in my sort of list of like 10 or 12 songs that are like leftover songs, if that makes sense. Like whenever you write out all the songs to like see what you have. I don't know if you do that, but that one's always in there. 3 phones. No. That's if you listen to that snippet, anyone who's watching this, go look up the snippet 3 phones and then listen to it and really ask yourself if that belongs on From Me to You. And you'll have your answer. Even though it's got kind of a cool flow to it, it's just not up to par, you know? A lot of those are made in the time frame where I was really just experimenting a lot and like just trying to like figure out what I was going to do next, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the answer. I actually feel like a lot of my core followers are going to be interested in those answers. But So Unfair might come out 3 phones, maybe I'll drop it on SoundCloud from a secret account and no one will ever find it, but they'll find it in 5 years.
Yeah, I just listened to the snippet and there's no fucking way that song should be out on this album.
Exactly, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, and then Watch Out. That was actually so that was at the end of the Live Like This song, like on YouTube. There was that sort of part at the end, and that shit is dope. But that's the only part of the song that exists, is that snippet. Like it was just a little interlude thing, and so I was just like, like that's the reason that I put it out, because I was like, oh, this is like really cool, and it's too cool to stay on my computer, but it's also not a song, so why not sort of put it right here? But I was actually working on like fleshing out a song from it, and I think it does actually have potential. But that one, that's the answer for that one. It's just not a full song. You know, you have to think of it from my perspective. When I'm putting out a snippet, I'm gonna put out the best possible snippet because I'm trying to get people excited about new music or whatever. Which is, it's kind of an interesting strategy because then people become so attached to like 20 seconds of music and that they view the whole song as that 20 seconds. And then that like informs people of what the song is, even if the rest of the song is way worse in comparison. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a good strategy.
Bro.
Lil Uzi does it too.
Chance
Not
the
saying
Rapper.
that his songs are way worse than the snippets, but a lot of people do it. And it actually, as a consumer of music, it always makes me like the song more if I have liked 10 seconds of the snippet, even if there was no snippet. Like if there was no snippet, I probably wouldn't have cared about the song as much. So maybe I'll just start dropping a bunch of snippets.
Just
talk myself into
messing
this
with people.
Ramble. Yeah.
Yo, Chance the Rapper did that. He had this one with this, I don't know, it was some kind of old school sample, and it just never came out. But I went back and watched the snippet on his Instagram maybe 10 times since he dropped it, and it was like, and he never came out with it, and he didn't put it on the whatever that album was about his wife or whatever. Yeah. But anyways, snippets, great way to torture the fans. Good idea. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't care about them. We just want them to suffer in agony.
Yep.
So this one's for me. So are you going to try to transition? Okay.
Clever boy.
Are you going to kind of transition away from YouTube videos now that you've gotten heightened your production now? Like the styles of raps, the viral and 24-hour videos. Are you done with those? You going to come back to it now that you finished this album? I know you're already working on your next one. Stirring the pot, dog. You know, this is what I do.
Is your seat getting hot, Quad?
That face is beautiful.
No, I like making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right. So I have some more ideas. The styles of rap though is a little more niche. I'm not sure if I should keep doing styles of rap.
I feel like it's a thing of the past, honestly.
Because first of all, I've already done 130 million. Second of all, I'm kind of starting to come into contact or in spaces where I feel like a person who I'd parodied, I could work with or something, even Matt Ox, for example, I'd parodied him and other, I don't know. So it might just be kind of weird and to do that, but they're fun to do. And I feel like they only got better as I did them. I feel like the recent ones were fun to do and they were my best ones. So maybe I would do it if there was just enough artists that I feel like I could faithfully do. without appearing like too much of a, I don't know, like a try hard. But yeah, it's a combo of like sort of branching out from that kind of stuff, but then also just not having enough artists to actually like convincingly do them, because I don't even have that much like that crazy of a voice where I could actually pull them off. So it was even hard for me to do a lot of the ones that I did already. But so yeah, I mean I might do it, or I might do some variation of it or something like that. I have other ideas for YouTube videos though that I want to do.
That's good.
So I would do some of those.
I enjoy the YouTube videos a lot, and I know
Hell
a lot
yeah.
of people. Yeah, you parodied me in a Styles of Rap one time, and I'm always gonna hold on to that forever and ever. That's great.
You parodied me in a Styles of Rap, and I'm gonna hold on to that forever.
I did it.
Wow.
I did not. Do you remember what happened?
What happened?
This is when we first started talking, and you told me you would make a feature, like a guest spot on it, because I told you I was doing a Styles of Rap, and I wanted to like include you.
Oh,
in
you
it.
never did my style? I swear I
didn't
saw
do your
my
style.
name in one of your Styles
It
of
was
Rap.
there. I left it. It was there. I left it blank, and I just stared at the camera and I said, "This is supposed to be Quadeca," but he never answered back. And then I went on into the next style.
What the hell? What? Now
I'm not a Styles of Rap kind of guy. I've done it a handful of times. I don't have. I don't know. I don't like doing them that much.
Yeah.
That's your thing. And plus, like, people were telling me I was stealing your ideas, even though I would have you in the description saying Quadeca gave me this idea.
Can y'all
Sometimes.
just leave this poor man alone?
Bro, everybody hates
Y'all
me. They
are
all hate
being
me.
mean to Crypt, and you just let it. He's doing his thing, and he's doing great things, and you just gotta let him thrive, bro. Stop
Yeah.
holding his dick.
Let him
right?
steal
Like,
those
he's trying
ideas.
To be great. Let it go.
I would love for someone to hold my dick right now. Like, that would be amazing.
This is crazy.
All right, I think I'm done with the Twitter questions.
No, there has to be another good Twitter question.
I mean, there's tell him to get a haircut.
I did. Look
See,
now I look like
actually.
Like you
like
care.
not a mess.
There you go.
I was sort of rocking the I don't care about life anymore vibe, which was a cool aesthetic for a moment. But I don't know. I might go with this more normal approach.
There's nothing.
Let's see here. Yeah,
Guys, send better questions.
a lot of
What the
people
hell?
are asking.
Yeah, no,
asking
Crypt's case. Get
like,
on your own.
About the next album. Why did From Me to You take so long? We've kind of already grazed over that kind of stuff.
Cause it was hard to make it. It was difficult, and I worked hard. Okay.
That's why I didn't ask you.
Most artists, Kendrick Lamar, he takes like 4 years to do an album. I didn't take that long. If you really think about it, I took like a year and a half.
I think you made the horrible mistake of announcing something before it was done.
See, what they don't understand is that I'm a very I have like I don't want to say manic episodes, but I do. They're like hypomanic episodes where I like really believe that I like that's it. Like I really like when I announced that I really believed it, and then because in that when I was making that video I was like, yes, that no way the album's not going to be done by early 2020. Like it's already making so much progress, and I'm if I keep doing the rate I'm going, it's going to be way before that. But then I was like, oh, you just grow with the thing, and then it just got canceled. Sometimes that happens. You just gotta.
It's a blessing in disguise, man. Like,
Yeah, I
you
think
make
so.
much better songs that way. Like you
Yeah.
could have forced yourself and put out some shitty songs or songs you're not proud of, and that's one of the worst things you can do for sure.
Well,
If I didn't do that, there would be no Candles on Fire, no Sisyphus, no Maybe Another Day, no full Burning Bridges Long Day, no Work, no People Pleaser, maybe Swallowed the Key, no Summit Part 1, no Summit Part 2, no Can't You See. So,
Damn,
yeah.
My man had like 3 songs done and announced an album.
Yeah, I had Where'd You Go, Shades of Us, Smiling at the Ground, Alone Together, and It's All a Game, and Swallowed the Key.
Interesting.
And then I had some other ones that I took off of it. And then half of Burning Bridges I had.
How does it feel to be 5'8"?
I should have never done that height reveal, because even though I clearly revealed that I am, and this is not even a meme, all right? Not even a meme. I just am statistically 5'11", and like I'm a little over 5'11", and it sucks being 5'11" and a little over 5'11" because I'm like this close to 6 feet.
Yeah.
But I can't say I'm 6 feet without feeling like a dirty man. But then if I say I'm 5'11", there's no such thing as 5'11", according to everybody. You can't be 5'11". You're either like 5'9" or 6 feet. But I'm right there. It's like 6 feet is there. I'm like right there, like literally in like 5'11" and a half or in 3/4. But I'm trying to see. This is what I get for being an honest man, honest, hardworking man. I get told that I'm 5'8",
people
even
don't
though
like that. Yeah,
they don't know me.
Honestly, if you
want to see how tall I am, come over to me right now. Stand next to me.
that's
if
the
you
best
just
way.
look at some of the stuff you've done, like you went to KSI after the diss track stuff, and like you guys are standing up next to each other. Like he's done a height reveal. You can do that. You and I have done a video together, and I'm like right there with you. I'm like right at 6 foot tall.
Wait, hold on. But you're like 5'7", so what's going on? Maybe I am 5'8".
Bro, if you want to fight me, you can say other words besides this.
No. But yeah, it's just banter. It's just because I did that, and it's like a funny kind of meme, which I respect. I'm a big memer myself, so I respect the hustle.
Somebody wants to know when From Me to You is coming out.
Early 2027.
Nice.
Okay, here's one. So people want to know about the Polish voice at the end of the outro. They said they really want to know because they're from Poland.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I love all the Polish people that were like freaking out about that. Shout out to y'all. So that was from a Polish mountaineer named Wanda Rudiecki or something like that. R.I.P. But so she's like a legendary mountaineer, and she did this interview that I found that had like 100 views or something on YouTube when I was really doing a deep dive. Like every time I was in the car driving to the studio, like I was just listening to or eating food. I was just listening to mountaineer interviews, like scoping out as many quotes as I could possibly get and like lining them up with songs and stuff. And there was just this one thing that was the total thesis of the album, and it was in Polish, which kind of made it cool because it's like only the people who really care about the album are gonna go and like look that up to like really figure it out. And there's a bunch of shit in the album like that, like a bunch of Easter eggs that connect songs or references to previous songs and just a bunch of stuff like that. Like that's another reason the album took so long, is I was really trying to make it a kind of album where if you are a fan of the album, it's like a rewarding experience to be a fan of it, because there's so much to break down if you care and if you have the time to do it. But yeah, the Polish shit. So yeah, she's sort of talking about how there's this kind of loneliness, like this sort of healing loneliness when you go climb a mountain, and when you get to the top, and it's kind of like this thing where you find peace with that loneliness, and then when you return to the people, you come back with a new understanding of who you are and like where you are, which is exactly what like From Me to You is. It's like before anything goes to somebody else, or like in a relationship, which is like a big theme of the album, like everything sort of has to come from that own personal journey before you can really like love somebody else, or before you can, so it's sort of it's all about those internal journeys that go like from you to someone else, which is what the From Me to You thing was. So I was like trying to find a quote like that, and I was like, no way a mountaineer is gonna have that perfect quote. But then the Polish mountaineer, she was snapped on it, and then it just fit really nicely in there, and it kind of had it just sounded cool, like the way her voice sounded and the way the recording was kind of lo-fi, and yeah, it was just I love those mountaineer interviews. I think when I thought of that idea, I was like, great idea, and then it worked on something, which is cool.
So I have a personal question about that then. Like, did you find any kind of contact to license that out, or did you just download it? Because I had a very similar thing happen with my album, and we completely scrapped it. Because
He's gonna go.
I just kind of decided against it at the end. Yeah, okay.
He's leaving.
All right. Well,
no, we licensed it. We licensed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Crypt.
You did for sure. He has documents.
Quadeca licensed it.
On that.
Yeah, no. It's a we licensed it. It's a real deal.
Okay, next question. Ass or tits?
Neither.
personality.
Kneecaps, baby.
Kneecaps all the way. Okay.
He's capping.
You can really tell a lot about someone's kneecaps.
Joey, that's very underrated. I appreciate that. He said he's capping.
Yeah, that's all.
What is a misogynistic question? Everybody, hashtag cancel Crypt.
Bro, you're the one that told me to ask these fucking Twitter questions. I was done with them.
He strikes back. You just try to get quad canceled, so it's two-way street.
Ask him why he doesn't like boobies. That's a very great follow-up question.
This is what is this? What is happening?
Bro,
Okay, now you're making my fans look bad.
Dog, I have filtered out these questions. Okay, I've been reading them.
You're
for
right.
the last
You know what?
hour.
The Twitter questions are hopeless. They're hopeless.
We don't gotta ask these. Let me ask this: how does the album sound before it was sent to be mastered? Because I know you had like a big like dude in the industry like master that album.
It sounded better. I like the unmastered ones
because
That's
well, okay, like real shit. Like, does it sound like it's more like limited now and like a little bit more compressed than it did before?
No. He's a very good mastering engineer.
Uh-huh.
But I really didn't like. I was so afraid of that anything would get lost in it that it was really just he did a great job like making sure all the songs matched, and if you played it all the way through, it was cohesive. But in terms of the actual way it sounded, I don't think there's a huge difference between the feelings of the or sort of compositionally or anything like that. Like I kind of preferred some of the unmastered versions in some cases, but like for example Sisyphus, the music video version, I chose to put the unmastered one because it was less compressed. So I thought by the time it is released on YouTube and it is more compressed, it will sound better. I don't know, like, yeah, but some of them they sounded like a lot better, and it's cool. But honestly, there wasn't a huge difference, and I'm actually considering going back and doing, and I'm actually in the process of doing that now, like putting a couple new masters in for some of the ones where I was a little bit iffy on a part or something like that. Like for example, like on some of the Spotify songs, I just think it really. Like the Spotify streaming normalization stuff that it did really kind of fucked up some of the songs.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, most people will probably not even care or notice at all. But just for me, because I've listened to them for so long, it sounds like a no-brainer. But yeah, so I might end up. I mean, I will end up doing some stuff like that. But yeah, no. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
He snapped on the mastering.
I was curious about that.
There's the guy that's threatened Quadeca's life if he doesn't work on a song with him. So there's that.
Wow. That's one way to do it. It's crazy. Like with this album, like I'm sorry, this to me is like a producer's album. Like to me, like it's like the production like really.
Yeah. That's what I spent most of the time doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like it like almost outshines the lyrics at some points on it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I will say Candles on Fire. I think that's your best vocal performance that I've heard of you rapping before. Like, I think that's the best tone of voice I've heard from you. And I think the clarity of what you were saying, yeah, I think that was up there too. But
thank you. I'm glad because when I did it, I just felt like it sounded really smooth.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that note because I think that's I would kind of agree. I think that's my best sort of rap delivery.
Yeah, almost. I don't know if I was you, I would kind of like look back at that song and like be like, okay, where was my like voice at that day, or what did I do? Because I know there's like little tiny things you could do, like smiling when rapping, or like doing like just little stupid things that make your voice sound a certain way.
Big facts.
But
you know what I used to do when I was making music earlier? I used to think that if I just sort of laughed while I was rapping, it would just make everything I say sound likable, and then it just made it all sound horrible.
It depends on the song. It depends
like,
on the song. It can still work. It can still work.
Back in my like early stuff, like when I was like 15, there's a lot of songs where I did that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, just say it normally, bro. Come on, bro. But it's all out there. It's all on my Spotify. But yeah, no, I was on a lot of like methamphetamines when I was recording that one. So.
Oh yeah. I got that vibe. That
I didn't
Yeah.
want to ask it because we kind of already knew. But
ties into the whole mountain thing going up higher. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So how did you come into contact with IDK? Because that's like one of my favorite guys that not a lot of people really know about.
Hell yeah.
And whenever I was reacting to it, I was like getting very pissed off at you before the song even came on. I was like, "This is such a massive feature. Don't fuck this up." And,
Did I fuck it up? Do you think?
No, you didn't. I don't want to badmouth him, but I don't like his verse on it. So I was like very upset with his verse on it. Yeah.
I feel like with his verse, my verse is very busy, and I think he just sort of goes with a cool, like, more simple approach that kind of balances it a little bit, like sort of in the middle of the verse. So I feel like it, I don't know, and the beat's really busy too. So I felt like his verse kind of like added a contrast, which I sort of grew to appreciate. But I came into contact with him from like a long time ago, like 2015.
Oh damn!
I like saw a Sway in the Morning freestyle that he did when he, maybe had like 2,000 followers on Twitter or something like that. And I was doing soccer, football related videos, and I sent him a DM being like, "Oh, this is so fire!" Or actually, he posted a tweet that was like, I hate people who say listen to my mixtape or something like that. And then I did a joke response. I said, listen to my mixtape. Totally, I was 15, whatever. Give me a break, right? But then he DM'd me. He was like, oh, send me your mixtape. And I was like, oh, I was just joking because you said I hate people who say listen to my mixtape. But then I was like, coincidentally, I did just release a mixtape, which was Work in Progress, which is, as it says, a work in progress, which is one I did when I was like 14. And then I sent that to him, and then he didn't really say anything about the music, but he was like, hey, if you ever need any songs to put on your video, you could use one of my songs, I got you, or whatever, but then sort of over the time, he interacts a lot with his fans and stuff. But then I had this Burning Bridges song, and I thought he would sound really cool on it. And I sent him a DM. I sent him the song. He listened to it. He was like, I don't really do features. But like this is like cool, and he liked the flow on it. And I paid him for the feature. But it wasn't one of those where it was like just out of nowhere. Like we had been, like he'd been aware of like, me and whatever, but yeah, he did the verse, and he's been surprisingly very like supportive and he's like promoted the project on his own, which like he hasn't had to do. Like there was some guy saying, oh, this album's mid, and he quote tweeted him being like, you don't understand what that took to make that album.
Yeah. Trust
me, which is really cool. Like he had no obligation to actually do that.
For sure.
And so that's really dope. But yeah, that's the story of that one.
I did notice him do that. I think I saw somebody who's like, not my timeline, hyping up another YouTube white rapper or some shit like that. And he's like,
yeah.
Even understand. Like, I thought that was really dope of him to do that. But dude, he's like,
Hell yeah.
Like Denzel Curry and like Juicy J and people like that. So like I've known about him for a little bit. So it was awesome to see you finally like work with him. And
hell yeah. And I think I'm excited. He's got a new thing coming up. He just did a song with like Offset that's going to come out, which is pretty dope. I have faith in him. I have a lot of faith in him, because he's one of those new people that like knows the balance of like making a song that's enjoyable but conceptual, and he really loves like doing really ambitious songs and concept albums, which I always respect too, which is really cool.
Dope. No, I remember what I was gonna ask. Well, there's two. One is a quick question. On your intro track, that is a ukulele, right?
No.
Is it a mandolin?
10 points to Crypt.
Holy shit!
10 points to Crypt.
Oh, dude, Joey, go fuck yourself, bro.
I'm going to. I think I am right now.
Oh my god, I'm so happy right now. I am so happy right now. I could die happy. Man. Oh man.
All right. Well, next question.
But it makes sense. It makes sense that you would say that, because I did say that I used a ukulele to sound like a mandolin in my video
with a flanger. I thought you said too.
Yeah, it sounded totally, but it sounded totally like that. So if I were you, I would think that that's correct. But I did the ukulele on like Sisyphus. I did that. and on some other ones to sort of add some texture. But that one, no, that was like a mandolin like sample thing, and then I added some other stuff on it.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
See, this is why I'm glad I didn't react to the album. You know what I did when the album came out? I went out and took a drive, and I live in Connecticut, and there's no mountains here, but there is some hills. So I drove to the hills and I listened to the album. And
this man gets into it.
Thank you.
I wanted to listen to it the right way. When I listened to voice memos, I was caught up in the influence. I did videos, part 3 videos of listening to the album, hitting pause, saying what I thought about it every 20 seconds. I was like, this isn't how you listen to an album, you know? So I just wanted to go out and get the right experience. And I'll never forget the Summit Part 2, because I was stuck in traffic on the highway in Hartford, Connecticut. So every time I hear that song, I'll think about being stuck in traffic. So
I'm telling you, Summit Part 2, it resonates. It has those memories that it'll bring you.
Stuck in traffic, running out of gas.
I'm telling you, everybody, if you listen to the album, you're gonna go listen back to Summit Part 2 in a year, and it's gonna transport you to a place you didn't know you went to.
That sounds terrifying. But when I end up there, I'll be like, I just remember.
Like stuck in traffic in Connecticut, which is where I always want to be.
Yeah. Bro, was Summit Part 2 playing? Bro, you have no idea. But, yo, the other thing...
Summit Part 2 is playing, and you are not stuck in traffic. You are still in traffic.
It's like we're halfway from it.
You are at peace with the traffic.
Yeah, okay.
Traffic is stuck in you.
It was peaceful. It was peaceful. And I kept thinking the song was going to end. I was like, the album's going to end any second. Like, the song just keeps making it seem like it's about to end. And I was like, okay, he's going to hit us with one more distortion, and then it's probably going to end. And it
ain't over till the Polish Mountaineer speaks.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the new thing now.
Can you make t-shirts like that?
Write that down.
Shouts to her. You shouldn't exploit her, I guess, if she passed away, but you know what I mean? But
I think she passed away. Let me make sure.
Damn, that's crazy.
Rip.
Oh
no, Rhonda Rutkiewicz. I'm not sure how I can pronounce it. Yeah, she passed away in the 90s.
Oh wow. All right. Rest in peace.
Were you even born yet? What year were you born? You were born in 2020, weren't you?
I was born
2000. Wow.
Yeah, I was born 2000, not quite 2020.
Yo, the question I got for you is, what's up with the press with this album? Like, you don't got to go. You might not be able to disclose any details, but is there a game plan that you guys all have mapped out with how you're gonna do extra press with this album?
Oh, the plan was sort of just to go on the Papa Do podcast and just hope it goes up from there.
Terrible plan. Let me tell you right now, shit's gonna flop. All right, this isn't the way to do it.
Mad faith. This video is gonna blow your album up 100%, going at least gold.
Let's go.
Fair confidence we can get you a gold album.
Hell yeah. I did. I have a YouTube videos that I'm gonna post. I have a bunch of music videos I got to post. Hopefully, we'll get some Spotify playlists and shit like that.
Yeah, I saw you got one for Candles, so congrats on that.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And that one we didn't even pitch it or anything. It was just
that's crazy.
It just got
on
there.
Editorial playlist you've ever gotten on?
Pretty much, yeah. I've been on one or two other ones.
You and I got on one together. Just saying.
Really?
Yeah, Dunna.
Which one?
It was internet something.
Oh, internet people?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Hell yeah.
It's funny because do you know who Cupcake is?
Mm-hmm.
She's used
fire.
The same beat. Yeah, she's sick. But she used the same beat because it's a YouTube beat.
Yeah.
And somebody...
I think I saw it. I swear it had a shark on the thumbnail.
Yeah, it did. And somebody tweeted at me and tagged her, and then she messaged me. He's like, yo, do you have the license to this beat? And I only had an unlimited. I didn't, but she paid for the exclusive. But she talked to me, was really cool about it, and followed me. And then the next day, the song got put in an editorial playlist. I don't know if she had something to do with that. Very coincidental.
That would be a pretty crazy story if Cupcake was pulling strings behind the scenes to get a Crypt song on the editorial.
The least likely thing that would ever happen in my career.
I like that. I like that interaction. I ship it personally.
What?
I said I ship it.
You ship it.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Damn, y'all are some old folk here.
What
I
is?
mean,
Yeah,
that means
damn,
I can
damn.
I can um I would like to
You don't
see
even know what you're saying.
I would like to see both of you in a romantic relationship together. Now it sounds weird. You know what? Fuck off.
That's what that means.
Yeah,
I ship
Oh,
it,
like
bro.
relationship.
Wow, all right.
Oh, hit her up,
Man.
bro.
but I didn't mean
These
romantic. I
hippies,
just meant
young whippersnappers
I meant it.
nowadays.
It was also in a like you could also use it in like a friendship. Like I like that duo. Is basically what I was trying to say.
Okay, that makes sense. That was 100% the first time I've ever heard that term ever
I'd ship it.
be used in
Yeah.
that. People keep asking about ass or tits, and I don't understand.
They're just trying to get a rise out of you. They just have nothing better to do with their day than to make you feel bad and to make you feel puny. But that's because they're the real puny folk. All right? That's because they're feeling puny and they're trying to make you feel puny. Well, Crypt, let me tell you, brother. Don't let it get to
puny.
you. All right? No.
I am not
you're
puny at all.
You are not. They're just
Most
trying
period.
to get a rise out of you.
That's
And
facts.
my father always said, "Hey, if the troll at the bridge wants a piece of cake, don't give him the piece of cake. Take that slice of cake and eat it too." That's what my
Dad
father
was,
used to tell me, and that's what I live by every day.
Your dad's a wise man. I also
Yes.
feel like your dad doesn't exist.
No, he doesn't.
Wow.
Doesn't your dad doesn't somebody in your family work at Treyarch? We were talking about this the other day too.
No, but yeah. In the video game world, which is cool.
Dope. I wish I had more that I could ask, but I don't know,
It's
bro.
fun to just
I
sit
felt
and
like
talk,
I could
honestly.
talk about the production of the album like for days, but I didn't want the podcast episode to be like just that.
I could talk about production for days too.
So I just didn't want to bore the listeners to death talking about it, because I could go through every song and be like, yo, let's talk about what you did here and here and here, but that could be for another day. Maybe another day.
Hell yeah, maybe
There we
another
go.
day.
I'm out here. I'm out here with the references today, bro. I'm on fire. I'm starting to think that first quote wasn't real about the troll and the cake.
No,
I feel like there was a troll definitely involved, but I don't think it was from a quote from your dad. That's what I'm starting to think about that whole situation there.
But hold on, we gotta ask Crypt. Crypt, how's the album? It's coming out like in like tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah, tomorrow at midnight. So day after, I guess, is yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I'm excited. I just want people to listen to it. Honestly, like that's just been the biggest thing is like getting people to click on it, and because I know the music's so much better than the stuff that I've done in the past. And
Hell yeah.
a lot of people have this weird assumption of me. Not even a weird assumption. It's an inaccurate assumption based off of my old music that I'm gonna sound a certain way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just it's been an uphill battle in that sense. But people that have listened to it have loved it, and I'm just excited for everybody else to hear it, bro.
I relate to the uphill battle though for sure.
Yeah,
dude.
sure,
but what do you feel like you were like honing in the most on this thing? Like, is there something in particular where you were like, oh shit, this is what I'm excited for people to like see, that I'm not just this, but I'm also doing this too, or something, you know?
It's more like a substance-driven album, like just not random tracks about me rapping about how I'm better than everybody else, because that's like what I tend to fall into a lot, or like people talking shit. Even though I have songs like that on this, it's not heavily influenced like the last album was.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. There was a point in time where I wanted to stop making music pretty much, and I don't remember when it was, but I had just like this huge moment of inspiration back in like January or February, and I made like 11 songs for the album. Like it was weird.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I sing more on it. I wanted people to know I could sing. Storytelling, just more emotional stuff. There's a song about my mom on there that's like I'm never gonna listen to it again. There's a song on there that it's only me singing on an acoustic guitar about my grandmother. There's just some cool shit.
Hell yeah. Love that. Love it. I'm very excited. I'm excited. I'm gonna be streaming that shit. Hell yeah, dude. And you sent me that storytelling song, and you put that one out.
Yeah, I put the music
which was pretty dope.
Yeah, man. People liked it. That's probably like the most comments I've ever gotten on a music video, I think.
Really?
Like just people telling me their stories and shit. Yeah, it put me in a weird spot for like 2 or 3 days. I was just reading nonstop stories of people having the same situation happen to them, and like,
Wow.
fucking made me sad.
I thought it was a great concept, and I love the ending, and I love the way that you misdirected people, because that made you feel the message of the story just without being preachy. You know what I'm saying? It was like you took someone down your mental path without doing it without reversing it and then being like, what if this happened to you? And what if this happened to you? It was like, this happened to you, but what if it didn't? Is that, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was a really cool flip on it. And I thought that made this song like palatable and like cool and interesting. So I appreciate the writing style on that a lot.
Thank you, man. Means a lot, bro. It definitely does.
I'm excited. I would give you more praises, but I haven't heard the other songs on the album, so I can't come here and do an analysis of your album yet. So I feel a little inadequate in that sense. But I'm excited, and I appreciate that you're doing like, you know, you're taking it to another level, which is something I'm always trying to do too. And so I relate to that. And you know, coming from the YouTube scene, there's a lot of stigma and whatnot that you have to sort of, you know, you really have to be proving yourself a lot. And so, I'm just excited to see where you're going to. And same with you, Joey. I know you're probably producing your ass off and making some fire shit too.
Yeah, man.
Didn't you produce some stuff on the Crypt album?
Yeah.
Or all of it?
A lot.
Yeah. Well, I had my hand in a lot of it. I like made full instrumentals for like 3 or 4 songs.
Oh yeah.
Mixed the whole thing pretty much. Yeah. Binks did some of it, but yeah. Well, I pretty much did like 90% of it. But yeah, it was a lot, man. It was most of the long process for Crypt was just being able to like bring himself to like find the confidence in the songs he was doing. Mm-hmm. Like he said, he hit that mark when he started doing like 11 songs in like a month or something like that. Because before that, we had a lot of songs, I felt like, but none of them were complete or anything.
Yeah,
and
there was 31 songs.
There you go.
Like there.
Wow.
Put it down to 15. So
That's
I'm very happy, very, very happy with the 15 that we picked. And I mean, there's some that I inevitably think you're not gonna like. Especially there's some that I don't particularly like anymore. But like the meaningful songs, I think you'll fuck with for sure.
Dope.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, the last thing that I did, I put out an album in a day. You know about that, making an album in one day.
Yes, sir.
I went ahead and did that.
Though, so that's on another level. That's the hard part.
Doing the beats, yeah. That was, yeah. I don't know how it happened because I've tried to do it again since then, and it's been really hard to do that again. But I'm gonna try it again. Yeah. I want to try to do it again. It is a challenge. But that's why, like, I was surprised, like what you said earlier. You were like, I can't do a verse on the fly like this. That like you can't. I need time. I need some water. Like when you said all that. I was like, you made a whole, like you wrote a whole album in a day.
That's true. I could do it, but
it's not gonna be at the standard that you want.
Yeah, and sometimes I do. It's either I do the song in like 2 hours.
Yep.
And then I work on it over the course of like 4 months to get it right, or I like go piece by piece slowly. It just depends on the song. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Y'all are artists. Y'all understand how it goes.
Yeah.
It's all just random. But sometimes you get in that momentum, and then you just can't be stopped.
I'll definitely say this. I'm not afraid to admit this. Like your album, like I texted you and said, "Yo, I'm about to take Bigger down," like as a joke because I heard your album and it just like the production that I did on that song just doesn't measure up to what you're doing now. And really, I think it comes down to taking your time.
It sounded great. The mix on that sounded great though.
Yeah, I mean sonically, yeah, but now you made me like realize like, yo, if you got talent, why are you not pushing the envelope? Why are you not breaking boundaries? Yo, your light went off, just so you know.
Like,
okay.
Sad. Like, after your album drop, he's like, bro, I'm not doing enough. Like,
well, that kind of makes me a little bit happy. Yeah. Because, I want to see you fucking push it because I know you're fire. I know you are, and so I low key not to make it because I know we're already been here for like a really long time.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times the YouTube audiences can just be very content with just doing what you were already doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like once you give them the thing that they like, all you have to do is basically keep that standard and they'll love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's like, and that's what I was doing for a long time. but I feel like it's more validating to like just do some crazy shit where it's like, you know, not to sound dramatic, but like if you like died next year, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, like would I have really took it to the level that I wanted to and left that thing where it's like somebody could go back to this and being like, damn, you know, I don't know, it got very existential and,
I love
whatever.
that,
and
yo.
I started thinking like, fuck, dude, I just like, I need to, and that's what made me so anxious about doing this album. Cause I was like, damn, I just want to like have it, put it out there, and I want people to hear it and shit like that. So I fuck with just like, yeah. And I just fuck with like challenging your audience is always like really fun to do, you know, giving them something kind of weird that you're afraid that they're not going to like, but if you like it, and then that's like what makes it fun. Cause it's like, you get to experience the song while making it, and then you get to experience it again while you look at the response from people, you know?
For sure. Yeah, man. You got something you can stand proud of.
Yeah, if you just keep giving them what they want, like doing the same thing over again, you're not going to get new fans. Like, it's going to be a lot harder to grow and like dive into new fan bases and shit.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm proud of you with this album, yo. The From Me to You album, I think, is the breakaway. That's what I'm hoping for. That's why I asked about the press, because I'm rooting for you for this to be the breakaway from, you know what I mean?
Fuck out of YouTube, dog. It's a death sentence.
It has a cap. It has a cap for the audience and the niche or the demographic on YouTube. There's a cap.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching the Papa Do podcast. Make sure to go invest in the Mountain Dew stock, at least 20% of your portfolio. All the investment bankers are saying that that's the wave to do. Fuck Bitcoin, fuck Amazon, fuck real estate, bonds. It's all bullshit. Mountain Dew is the number one financial investment recommendation from all bankers and financial advisors. Go do that. That's what the Papa Do podcast is made for. Boosting that Mountain Dew stock, baby. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and check out Crypt's album, which is probably already dropped by the time this is up.
That's the least important part. Invest in Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Number one part.
All right, I appreciate you stopping by, man. But that's the end of this episode, guys. And stop asking for Quadeca to be on the podcast. It's over now. Papa Do!